Hi, I'm Jeff Ondash, and welcome to a show we're calling 66 Days to Success. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the show's all about. All of us, at some point, probably right now, want to change. We want to do something different in our life. We want to attain a goal. We want to make something different for ourselves to happen. I might want to write a book. You might want to lose weight. You might want to start a business, learn how to play an instrument, just be a better person, maybe even get a better education. It doesn't matter really what the goal is. We all want to do something to better ourselves, almost all the time. So why don't we? Why don't we start? Why don't we just go ahead and do it and accomplish it? It sounds easy enough, but it really isn't. There's a lot of pitfalls along the way and a lot of things that stop us from being started. So we thought we'd put a little show together, and it's called 66 Days to Success. There's a reason behind the 66. There's been studies done that show that it takes 66 days for you to change a habit, to make it into your lifestyle as such that it will become commonplace, and it will make it easier for you to attain your goal. Once you do something long enough and try it long enough, which is about 66 days, then your goal can be a lot easier to attain. I'll give you an example. If you start out on a diet and you say, I want to lose 30 pounds, it's a difficult thing to do, especially if you wake up and the next day all of a sudden you're going to cold turkey and go after this. It's not the way to do it. The way to do it is this way. You are going to go and you're going to make the conscious choice in your mind, I want to make this change. Because nothing happens without that. Your family's not going to be able to help you to do it. They're not going to say you need to lose some weight. It's not going to matter. Until you make that conscious choice in your mind that I want to do this and I want to start now, that's the first step. Then, before you start, and this is very important, you're going to want to make a plan. Sit down, actually map out where you're going with this. Set little incremental ways of doing this. Not just everything, one time, boom. It doesn't happen that way. Because here's what happens. Along that 66 days, you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have failures. You're going to go somewhere and you're going to have a dinner and you're going to overeat. You're going to get off that wagon, as they say. And this is where the real problem comes in. Then you don't get back on it. You don't start. You're going to do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and it's always tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's today. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what goal you want to accomplish, what change you want to make in your life, how you want to become a better person, because everybody always wants to do it. Even the most successful people out there, and no matter if they're successful in business and life, it doesn't really matter. They're always striving in another direction to make themselves better. There's an old saying, every day I wake up with one thing in mind, just to be a better person than I was yesterday. Maybe that's what we all should do. So let's get back to goals for a second. You're going to go ahead and you're going to start your goal. You're going to start that thing that you want to do, that you've wanted to do for a long time. You're going to make the conscious choice in your mind. You're going to write it down. And then the third and final and most important thing to do is you're going to start. And for the next 66 days, you're going to allow yourself a little grace period here. And that's where this show is going to come into play. Because we're going to help you along those ways when you have those little pitfalls, when you have those setbacks, when you have those failures. You're going to pick yourself up. It might take a day or two, but you're going to start again. You're going to keep going until you get to that second month. At the end of the second month, where now it becomes a habit. It becomes part of your lifestyle. So let's say that you want to learn how to play guitar. You're going to come home from work, and then you're going to have your little time set aside for playing guitar, practicing. And then you have your dinner and go about the rest of your day. But then, after about 66 days of doing this, it becomes a habit. It becomes part of your lifestyle, and it's so much easier. And that's what you have to get through. You have to allow yourself that 66 days, and that's why we're here for 66 Days to Success. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in some professionals. Today we've got Cara Stevens. She's a counselor. She's going to talk about why change is so difficult for you and I. Why we have this roadblock as soon as we think we want to change something in our life. Why it's like an insurmountable task to some people. It really isn't. It's all about up here, making that plan, and then doing the third thing, which is starting the process to do it, and allowing yourself that 66-day grace period. We're also going to talk to Amber Landsman. Amber is a phenomenal physical trainer. If you're thinking about losing some weight, Amber's a great person that could help you along the way. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm Jeff Ondash. This is 66 Days to Success. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be right back with our first guest. And I think you're really going to like Cara Stevens. She's going to help you really attain that goal that you want to do. She's very, very knowledgeable, and she's going to talk a lot about things that are really stopping you from starting. So here we go. And welcome back. And I'm sitting here with Cara Stevens. She is a counselor. And in your job, you have a lot of people that come into that want to make changes in their life.
Sure.
There's that word, that change word, where we always seem to want to make a change in our life. We want to accomplish a goal. We want to achieve something. We want to make a difference in some part of our being or our personality, but we can't. And it's because of that word change. Why is change so difficult for people? It's like the wall in a marathon.
Sure.
When you
Yeah.
hit that 20th mile, you just can't go any further.
Right.
So why is change so difficult for a human?
I think we're creatures of habit. We like familiarity. We like what we know. And the idea of not doing that anymore is a little scary because things are familiar to us. I think that for a lot of people, there's a fear of failure. What if I take these steps and I work hard and then I don't achieve what I set out to achieve? That means I'm a failure. For some people, actually what I've seen over the years is for some individuals who maybe have struggled to make change or they've made change and then they fell back, sometimes those individuals actually have a fear of success. And the reason that is because they're kind of used to failing in their mind. And if they get success, it's this idea of, well, what if I get it and lose it? That's going to be very disappointing. Or what if I become successful? All these people in my life who've not really had expectations of me now have expectations of me. Can I deal with that? Can I live up to that pressure? So that's something. Sometimes just competing stressors. We want to make a change, want to quit smoking, want to diet. But it's like, oh gosh, but I just lost someone in my family, or there's this stuff at work. And so sometimes competing stressors get in the way of making the change we want to make. I think a big one is lack of support. It's hard to make a change if you don't have supports around you, nobody to be accountable to. So I think, all of those things. And at the most basic, sometimes we don't know we need to make a change.
Just not aware of it.
You're not aware of it.
Something happens to you, you put the pants on and they don't fit.
Right.
Or you all of a sudden wake up one day and decide that smoking makes you smell and you want to quit, whatever it is.
Right.
You mentioned the word there, failure. And the reason for this show, we call it 66 days, is because it takes 66 days from national studies for somebody to change a habit.
Right.
So when you're out there and you're going to set your goal, write down your plan, figure out how you're going to do this, and make the conscious choice, obviously, which is the first thing to do, that you want to make the change in your life, whether it's to play guitar, lose weight, or just be a better parent, whatever it is. But you're going to fail many, many times. So is that roadblock part of the failure, and how do they accept that, know that they're going to do it, and get through it?
Well, again, I think it's knowing that change is a process. You don't just change and it just goes smoothly and then everything's great. There are going to be roadblocks, there are going to be bumps. And actually, I don't even like to use the word failure. A lot of the clients that I work with kind of label themselves as such. But I think that, it's just that maybe you haven't gotten to where you want to be yet. It's a process. I think we have to focus on the progress a person makes, not the fact that they didn't get to exactly where they wanted to be. So I try very hard with the people that I work with to not even use that word failure. It's just, hey, okay, you're not where you're at yet, where you want to be, but that's okay. We'll get there.
Okay, but when they get to that, let's use the analogy of a diet. You started on Monday with all the good intentions. You've made your conscious choice. You've made your plan. You're going to go after, I'm going to lose this weight. I want to lose 30 pounds. And then Dave has a party on Thursday night. You go to Dave's house and you relapse, fail, whatever you want to call it. And then Friday morning you are disappointed in yourself and then you quit. That's what the 66-day thing, I believe, is about, where you're going to go through those peaks and valleys until you establish that habit of it being part of your lifestyle, correct?
Right. When you said that, like the person sets out to lose 30 pounds, I think that's maybe the error, is I don't think we can set that big of a goal and get to it like we want to. I think it's got to be smaller increments. I always encourage people to have small, realistic, measurable goals that they set. Sometimes with my clients, we work on short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. So maybe the long-term goal is 30 pounds in 6 months. But the short-term is, I'd like to lose 3 pounds in the next month. Just, and maybe they'll do more than that. But I think it then gives you're not setting for this number that might not seem real attainable. 30 pounds seems like a lot, and that's a lot of work, but we got to take small steps. Kind of a good example I feel is my husband and my 2 boys are runners, and for years I just go, I cheer them on, take pictures, all that stuff. Well, this last summer, after they did a race, I thought, I'd really like to be able to do that. And I'm not a runner. I tried it years ago, it wasn't really for me. But I said, you know what, I want to do this. So I talked to my husband. He set me up with an app on how to training for a 5K. So I started it, and running that first minute was like, I can't do this. I can never run a 5K. But it was designed to be 60 days, and I just finished it recently. I've run a 5K now, not officially in a race, but I've run 5K. And it's like, I can't believe I did this. But it was one step at a time, running 3 times a week, gradually increasing my distance. And let me say one other thing about that is about halfway through, I shared this with my older son. I hadn't said anything to many people because I thought, well, if I don't accomplish it, So I told him about 4 weeks in, and I said, hey, if you want to run with me, that'd be great. So we got up early one Saturday, and he ran with me. And just him being there, encouraging me, Mom, you got this, I doubled my time that day. I did more than what the program told me to do. Having him there made all the difference. So that's where the supports come in too.
Okay, let's talk about support group a little bit. Doesn't it really come down to when somebody wants to, whatever that goal is, like I have a guitar that is sitting in my family room behind a chair that I have the good intentions of learning how to play someday.
Sure.
But it's been there for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Doesn't it really come down to me to make, I could have everybody pat me on the back and cheer me on and say, go Jeff, come on, we know you can play this guitar. But isn't it up to me to make that conscious decision to do it and then go after it? It really is all up to me. It's not up to my support group or my neighbors or anybody else. It's up to me to do this, right?
Absolutely. They can be encouraging, they can be a support along the way. And I think what you're describing is readiness. When a person comes to me and they want to make change, that's one of the first things I have to do is assess how ready are they. Maybe they acknowledge they need to make a change, they want to make the change. Are they ready to take the steps? So I'll find out, how important is it to them to make the change right now? How confident are they that they can do it? And then we start to look at, like I said, small, realistic goals. But it really is up to that person. Nobody else can do the work for them. So they've got to be ready. And again, I think the support people are just there to say, hey, when you're ready, we're right here.
Or if you fall, we're ready to help you pick yourself up and keep on going. Cara Stevens, you tell our audience where you work. If someone's out there trying to attain something, to reach a goal, and they feel like they need help to talk to somebody like you to give them a little bit of support, how would they get in touch with you?
I work at the counseling center that's in Lisbon, Ohio. We have 3 offices, one in Calcutta, one in Lisbon, and one in Salem. And we offer mental health treatment and also substance abuse treatment at our agency.
All right, so we've learned a little bit about, this is some very, very good stuff. Thank you very much. We learned some great stuff today about getting your goal accomplished, or at least starting your goal and what's going to happen along the way. So now it's up to you. What change do you want to make in your life? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to go? And how long is it going to take to do it? It really starts with you. Make that plan. Get some help if you need it. But the most important thing is to quit talking and start doing. Well, Cara Stevens, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It was a great interview. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you got something out of this, and if you're thinking of making a change, there's no better day than today. Not tomorrow, but today. We're going to be back and finish up the show right after this quick break. Thank you very much, Cara.
Absolutely.
You take care. See you in a bit. Wow, she really told us some great things. Cara Stevens is very, very knowledgeable about attaining goals and about what to do and how to do them in those small little increments. Have a long-term one, have a short-term one. So let's go one step further now, and let's talk to somebody about a specific goal. We're going to talk to Amber Landsman, and Amber is a physical trainer, and she is phenomenal. And she's going to give you some really great ideas on how to get started if you want to lose weight, or you could take what she's saying into any type of goal or any type of plan that you would like to see to come to fruition for yourself. Doesn't really matter what it is. Amber's coming up right now, so sit back and enjoy this. All right, so we've learned a little bit about how we could change, and we're not going to use that word, I told you that, how we can accomplish something in our lives. So one of the biggest things that people do is they want to change the way they look, their appearance, their health, and usually that starts with the New Year's resolution. And I'm here today with Amber Landsman, who is a personal trainer at Creekside Fitness, and you have some things going on your own and some great things we're going to talk about in a little bit. But first, we want to talk about, okay, everybody thinks that they're going to make this big accomplishment in their body. They're going to lose 30 pounds. They're going to hit the gym on Monday, and everything's in their life's going to change, and they're going to succeed right off the bat. And by Friday, they're going to accomplish all their goals. So is that the biggest mistake that people make?
Well, it's definitely one of them. If you compared that mentality to something in nature, where you plant something, there's a period of time where you cultivate it, right?
Yeah.
And then you can harvest it. And so nothing really goes from planting to harvesting. And that's the same way people make mistakes in their thinking, is that things are going to come quickly. I think that keeping focus can be looked at from a psychological perspective, and a geological perspective, like our environment. So focus, we need to be able to look at some of the things that kind of will break our focus in our biology. And that's this impulsive desire of, I want food, I want something to drink, I'm sleepy. Those things are going to help, those things are going to pull you off track and break your focus. So kind of looking at those things and being aware that those things might be things you need to strategically try to, plan for. And then psychologically too, you're going to have mindset and limited beliefs, and the belief that you can get something done super quickly instead of looking at things for the long haul and saying, well, it's not what I want now, it's what I want the most. And that might not be something you can have right now. So it's those small psychological mindset shifts you have to make on a daily basis in order to get there. And then when you look at your environment and your geography, you want to look at how it's supporting you. Are you setting up your house in a way that is going to support your lifestyle changes? Are you going to make your space nice and clean so that your mind feels cleaner? And are you going to put your running shoes or your gym shoes right at the door? Are you going to clean out your cabinets so it's more supportive versus, coming home to a house or getting in a car that's not clean and conducive toward making you stick with those changes that are going to be healthier for you.
All right, so that's a lot of good stuff that you just said that
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you don't even think of. So you're thinking out there that I want to lose some weight. I want to get myself in shape. Now I'm 58. And I've noticed that as you get older, this is so true, it's like my dad and mom said, things change. Not just the hair and the ear, but a lot of things change. Your ability to get in shape quicker is not there anymore. But if you're young, if you're old, the most important thing I think you really touched on is to plan it first before you just decide, oh man, I'm overweight, I gotta lose some weight. Oh man, I can't walk to the car anymore, I've gotta get in shape. So doesn't everything start with that initial plan instead of just going and showing up at a gym?
Yeah, it really does start with the initial. First, you have to have the philosophy that's going in the direction you want it to be, which hopefully is more positive if you want to make a lifestyle change. And that positive thought that starts you in the right direction is going to hopefully put you into action that are going to lead you into the right results that you're looking for. So What I like to tell people is there's something called the slight edge, which is a book that was written by Jeff Olson, and the slight edge can be applied to any aspect of anything you want in your life. And all it is thinking about your life on this straight timeline, and we know life doesn't go in one straight direction, like you said. You know, it's hard to make changes because of all the other things we have going on in our life, so health changes sometimes come last. But it's not that you have to make big change overnight. It's small disciplines, seemingly insignificant and mundane, practiced daily or weekly, that are going to accumulate into what you are looking for in the future. And it might not happen overnight, but it will certainly happen in time. And you could apply it to any principle in life, whether it's success in career or health, you know, or relationships. Getting up every day and practicing those small disciplines, those habits that are going to eventually, you know, compound interest in the direction of where you want to go. Think about the penny. You save a penny every day, you're going to have $1 million eventually. If I gave you $1 million and you didn't have those habits in place to be responsible for that money, you're going to probably lose that money quick.
We could try that. You give me $1 million and I'll let you know how that works out. So that's a great analogy with the edge. So you make this plan,
yes.
Okay, and then you're going to join a gym or start by walking around the block. But if you come to a gym, something like we're at Creekside Fitness right now that has all the facilities here, help from outside sources are a great thing too. It's awful hard sometimes to do everything by yourself. It really all comes down to you.
Yes.
It comes down to making your mind up, then having the will in here to actually do it. But along the way, once you start out, obviously you're not going to succeed right off the bat. You're going to have, I'm going to have that Twinkie. I'm going to have a baseball game on TV that night that I want to watch instead of coming to the gym. So when that happens and you reach that, we'll call it that little wall, how do you get back on track again? Because over the force, like you're talking about, things are going to have little setbacks from time to time. How do you make sure that over the first, because I believe it's 66 days to change a habit in a person. Over that first 66 days, how do you make those little changes in disciplines and stay on track when you fail?
Okay, well, it's a great question, and I think it's what most people struggle with, is staying on track for the long duration. First of all, personally, I think people need to have a very strong why, a vision, right? If you don't have a really strong why, you want to be healthy, you're probably not going to stick with something. For me, personally, I've had cancer. When I had cancer when I was young, my why for having a better health and life became really obvious, right? Picture yourself on a high rise with a wire going to another high rise and put your why on the other side. When you have a why that's that strong, you're going to never get off that rope and you're not going to lose focus. Now, when you do, and you feel like you're about to fall, that's when your community comes into the importance, right? You mentioned that. Having a trainer, a coach, a mentor, friends and family members that have what you want. You are the accumulation of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And if you want something, you want to put yourself around the people you want to be like. And that is critical. You can't always hang out with the people that you love and care about if they're not going in the same direction when you're making initially those big changes.
Whether it's weight loss or getting in shape, whatever.
Yeah, you have to sometimes say no to going out and no to, taking the smoke break if you want to quit smoking, and finding a better habit or another habit that'll fill those needs that you're getting from some of the bad habits that we have, like making excuses when you get home from work. Yeah, we're all tired. People might not want to go do something. They might not want to go to the gym or walk, but they're going to sit on the couch and that's going to fill their need of being comfortable. A lot of times we have to be uncomfortable in the beginning of making changes, and that's going to mean putting new habits that we aren't used to into our lives.
But sometimes some people just find success easier. Is that true? Or is it because those people have mastered those disciplines? What makes the more successful, I know you've said in the past to me, there's the 95-5 thing. 95. What makes the 95% of successful people different from the 5% of people that fail and quit?
Yeah, so what it is practicing those mundane, insignificant, unrewarded by the universe practices and habits every day. You know, nobody pats me on the back and says, "Oh, Amber, I'm so proud of you. You went out for your 30-minute walk this morning."
Right.
You know, and you know, a lot of times I want to lay in bed, but I'm created a discipline. There's nothing special about the person that has become super successful that you can't do yourself, except that they are practicing that slight edge of doing those things every single day and then putting themselves around people that support them.
Okay, so you start this diet, you start this exercise regimen, come to a place like Creekside Fitness where they have the trainers, they have all the equipment that you would need, and you do it for a week and you stop. How do they stay on track? What is the impetus there? The one thing that you can tell them not to quit. Just look in that camera and tell them, if you fail, what do you do to overcome that failure?
Well, double your failure rate. That's what I would tell you, because in anything that you want long term, you know, this is not something you're going to decide to do just for now. It's what you want for the long haul. And so you're going to fail, and failing is part of it, and doubling your failure rate is a good mentality to have. When you quit the gym the first time, it's going to be painful, but as you get used to getting off track and coming back on track and coming back to the gym or changing those eating habits, it's going to get easier to come right back to it because it's part of your life, and eventually it'll become effortless and you're going to miss it.
And plus two, I believe also that every time that you come back from that little failure, as you say, it does become easier, but you're creating the overall habit in that 2-month period that's going to create a change in your lifestyle where coming to the gym is just part of your everyday routine. It's part of what you need to do to live, to survive, and to make yourself a better person.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that I want to touch on now. We've talked about that. You do personal training, and you also have started something that I think is pretty unique, and as we look at our local police departments, tell us a little bit about what you do with them.
Yeah, so I have a small business where I work with local emergency responders in helping them maintain a certain level of physical fitness by applying fitness standard tests to them annually. And it is in their agency where I go in and I work with the police officers to every year come back with better performance on these fitness standard tests in order for them to be able to serve and protect us and feel healthy and safe and better about themselves too.
So the policeman that's in the car right now might be going through a program with you to stay in shape and to keep himself in shape because he needs to in that particular job. So, and that's what you do, and that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, and there's a need for that in our country for all of us. You know, not just emergency responders need better health, but they just happen to have a high stress environment and job, you know. I mean,
an unappreciated high stress job.
Exactly. And so for them to maintain many aspects of their health and wellness, not only is it the physical component, but all of us, not only emergency responders, need to look at our health as nutrition, sleep, stress management, and our physical fitness component.
All right, so somebody out there right now, they're thinking about making themselves lose weight, or they're thinking of probably just becoming overall physically fit, a little bit better. So very concisely, what would you tell them? Make the plan and then work that plan, show up, and then if they fail?
Yes, so I would tell them to have a very strong vision, a clear why, and why they want to make this change, right? And then I would have them set some disciplines and habits that they can put in place of some of their bad habits. So they want to look at some of their bad habits. If they're bored, are they eating? Well, when they're bored next time, what are they going to do besides eating? So really writing down things in the beginning is going to become important. Maybe writing down a workout routine that is not too hard in the beginning, that lets them just ease into things, just starting a walking program, and then finally developing that community, that support system for when you're at your wit's end or you're not doing it anymore, and people are like, hey, where are you? The trainer, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, you know, and then those family and those friends components that are on the right track with you.
And give yourself that time to fail and give yourself that time to overcome the failure. It takes 60 to 66 days, it's proven. And once you get to that point, you'll understand why it will become so much easier to you. Amber Landsman, you're a great personal trainer, and she's at Creekside Fitness. You can call her here, and we'll give you her personal number, and you can call her there. And she'd be a great person to help you along your way and your journey to become more physically fit or lose the pounds that you'd like to, and just to become overall a more healthier person, which we all can do there, right? I still eat Twinkies, by the way. All right, that's going to do it for the segment.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, no, they're healthy Twinkies.
Oh, okay.
We're going to come back with the end of the show after we take this real quick break. Told you you're going to really like Amber. Amber is a very, very knowledgeable girl. But I'd like to thank her, and I'd also like to thank Cara Stevens for helping all of us to get started on our journey to 66 days to success. Things coming up in the future, this is going to be a monthly show, and things coming up in the future here are we're going to be doing a personal virtual challenge where everybody can take part in this to get their goal put together and then hopefully even win a medal like you would at a end of a marathon. It's a pretty cool idea we're working on. We've got a website coming up. We're going to be able to be in a chat room with other people trying to do similar things like you on their way to attaining a goal. A lot of exciting things coming up here on 66 Days to Success. I would really love to hear from you. You could email me at jeffondash@aol.com. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish. Let me know how it's going. Keep me updated, and we might even put some of those on the show and just give people an update on what all of us are trying to do out there. Thank you very much for listening. We hope that this show helps you on your way, on your journey to 66 Days to Success. I'm Jeff Ondash. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next month with a brand new show.